Imogen, if you're only going to watch one of the videos that I make for you, let it be this one. Hey Ginny, it's me, your dad. I'm making a video for you every week so that someday when you're older, you can look back and know what your life was like when you were tiny. This is your story. You are 10 weeks old. And on December 23rd, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry for the Rent reference. I don't really know why I did it. I don't actually like Rent. I find all the characters to be so unlikable. Where were we? Oh yeah, it was on December 23rd. Sorry, but it's a one-note earworm. Your mother and I were both mentally and physically just burnt out, and we're in the midst of having this argument about having a second child.
We never even talked about that.
Okay, to be more accurate, I'm rehearsing my argument against having a second child in the hypothetical argument simulator. And that's why we won't have a second child. I do this more than I care to admit, but I do it so that I'm prepared for any interest your mother has in having a second child. I'm so well prepared that I have every argument covered. What about what I want? My body, my choice. If you plan on having a second baby, it's gonna be with your second husband. In the hypothetical argument simulator, I'm a genius. I'm practically undefeated. Part of the reason that I've been having so much resistance to just even the idea of there being a second child and a contributor to my burnout is mine and yours relationship. I feel like we don't really have one. I'm mostly just the other parent, the other arms that take you. For the most part, I feel like you haven't really registered me as a parent. Mostly you look at me and you think of me as... Not the mama, not the mama. Now, I'm not blaming you at all. You're a baby, and of course your bond is going to be much stronger with your mom. She grew you, she's your food source. It's natural. But just on a personal level, it does kind of sting when two parents are sharing the workload equally, and the baby only responds to...
Not equal.
Make your own video. So when I get out of the hypothetical argument simulator, we start packing you up to take you to the pediatric dentist. You have a lot of medical appointments. You have this stiffness in your neck, which initially meant you couldn't even turn your head to the left. You have problems with your mouth, which makes it very hard for you to latch, so eating's very difficult for you. And so we go to all these appointments. It's 2 to 3 appointments a week because we want to prevent this from being a problem later in life. You have an osteopath. You have a physiotherapist, you have a family doctor, you have lactation consultants, and now you have a pediatric dentist. And although no one's come out and said it, everyone has kind of hinted about the fact that it might have to do with your delivery, these problems that you've had. You were vacuumed out. I feel bad for you that this is your experience of the world so far. It's strangers poking and prodding you. I also feel bad for myself, very selfishly, because it's a lot of work to get a baby packed up and to get them anywhere. It means rearranging the whole day. And getting a baby somewhere on time is a monumental task. We're either half an hour early or half an hour late. There's no in between. And it's already been a rough day because I discovered your mother took my Optimum card out of my wallet without telling me and didn't put it back.
It's not a big deal.
Tell that to the points I didn't get to collect. So we get to the pediatric dentist half an hour early, and the dentist is examining you, and she can tell right away. She says, this is a vacuum baby, and the problems she's having relate to being vacuumed out during labor. And my stomach drops because ultimately that was my decision. I know your mother will maintain that she had a big say in it, but she wasn't really making a lot of decisions during labor. And I start feeling really guilty that, yes, the medical professionals at the time suggested we do it, but it was my decision. And man, kid, you're suffering. You are suffering. And it's all because of this ill-informed decision I made. The doc wants to do a treatment on you right then and there with the laser that will help loosen the muscles in your jaw. But only one parent can be in the room while it happens, so naturally I'm the parent that's elected to leave. And just before I go to the waiting room, I take this photo of you. And you just look so small on this table. And they're doing stuff to you, and I just feel so bad. All this suffering, it's so unfair to you, and it's because of this decision I made. I've tried to argue this out a million times in the hypothetical argument simulator.
Hey, no, the medical professionals recommended. You suck.
It's the one argument I lose there. I feel like Benny in Rent after he pays for Mimi's treatment. He did the right thing, but everyone's treating him like he did the wrong thing. I think we're gonna have to watch Rent. While I'm in the waiting room, the sound starts coming from down the hall, and it's one I know anywhere. It's your scream. And it is deafening even in the waiting room. And everything inside me, it starts coming up because this scream is unlike any other scream you've ever had. It sounds so distressed, and there's nothing I can do, and I feel at fault. It's at this moment that all the guilt, all the anger, everything, it just comes out in tears in the waiting room. And I realize for the first time how deep my love is for you. After what feels like an eternity of you screaming and me sitting in the waiting room crying, a nurse comes out, and what she says is she's asking for you. And I think she means your mom is asking for me. But I don't care. I'm just running because all I know in that moment is I need to hold you, and I need to tell you what I just realized was just the depth of how much I love you. And I get into the room, and you're still screaming, and your mom hands you to me, and I pull you in, and I hold you so tight, and you bury your face into my chest. You start gripping my shirt, but you stop crying. You've never stopped crying for me ever. And your mom looks at me and says, she was asking for you. Now, since that moment, as painful as it was, things have been so much better between us. And I know that no matter what transpires between us in the future, we will always have that moment, the two of us. You won't remember it, but I will. And I'm gonna treasure it always. I'm telling you this story now because I want you to know about it. So that you can know about the moment that we both knew we loved each other. Ginny, I love you.
And because we've both seen Rent, we can unequivocally say it's overrated.
They've opened my eyes.